I love the move. Brendan Chabath on the updates, rocking a pink hoodie.
Yeah. Were you listening yesterday?
Of course I was listening.
I like
listens.
it. Looks good.
Oh, yeah. Like I said yesterday, hey, it looks good on you. Pretty
He's a confident
in pink.
man.
Yeah.
You want to finish the point you're making?
No, the point I'm making is I walked in and I said, hey, nice pink shirt, as I said I would yesterday.
You look good, but his kids could never wear it, nor would he.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Again, I have you do
John,
you.
it's not about the look. It's about the aura and the confidence.
Oh yeah, the aura. Yeah. When you put it like that, it sounds even better. It's about the aura. Yeah, you're giving off a pink aura.
Good, look good, feel good, play good. That's what.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I always wore a tie on to school on Fridays. Look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
agree.
I'm
Yes.
going to play good today.
We'll find out about that.
Hey,
A few more
like
updates.
I said, you do you.
Good morning, everybody. Jim Costa, John Jansen, Heather Park, Govern Greg behind the glass. We are ready to roll on a Friday. Got the picks coming up later in the show. We'll give away some Red Wing tickets for their Sunday game against the Blackhawks. John, how are you?
I'm doing good. Not a lot of good football last night, and on about any front, because the Thursday night football game was a absolute snooze fest. And I did tell you this morning I was watching a little UTSA, the Roadrunners, and the South Florida Bulls. Who doesn't want to watch the Roadrunners versus the Bulls? Feel like I'm watching Bugs Bunny on Saturday morning, and that's about what it was. Because I'll just give you a little tip, so no one has to, watch it or go back and look at it. South Florida didn't get the ball until about 2:17 left in the first quarter. 45 minutes after kickoff was the first time that they touched the football. And when they did, they were already up 14-3. Started off with an interception return for a touchdown on play number 1 of the game. And then all of a sudden, UTSA goes on a 14-play, 60-yard drive. They're driving right down. They're going to tie it back up. Fumble returned for a touchdown. 14-0. And then on the ensuing kickoff, South Florida decides that they're going to fumble the ball, and UTSA only gets a field goal out of it. They literally had their offense on the sidelines doing air squats and push-ups and jumping jacks just to get warmed up to go back in the game for the first time.
By the time they took the ball, it was, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter?
Yeah, so they go on a 6-play, 65-yard drive that goes into the second quarter and instantly score another touchdown.
21-3.
Yeah. There's your Thursday night football rabbit hole dork update.
You did it so we didn't have to. I
Yes.
appreciate your service.
There you go. That's the excitement of the Jets house. Well, on a Thursday night. The Roadrunners and the Bulls.
And look, it's a day where MLB free agency started, but free agency in baseball is not the way free agency works in any other sport.
It's not. It is not.
You don't see headliners signing on day one of free agency.
Yeah, there's no legal tampering going on 2 days ahead of time because there's no flurry of signings.
So while you don't have headline signings, you do have headlines.
Yeah.
A couple guys nationally talking about our Tigers. So let's give people a sense of some of the offseason storylines to monitor. The first everybody's aware of with Tarek Skubal, this is Ken Rosenthal. lays it all out, all the moving parts and pieces.
So if you don't sign him to an extension now, the gamble would be you keep him and try and win a World Series. And if things fall apart and in July you don't have a legitimate shot, then you trade him at that time.
The division's not very good. They'll probably be in the hunt in July.
I would think so. I don't think they're going to fall off the map.
They'll keep him, and then their only hope is that the lockout comes, a cap comes in, and they can offer him just as much as anybody else. I don't know if that's worth gambling on.
I think the last part of what Rosenthal said is extremely significant, and I've kind of pivoted from trading him right now. Seriously, because you're not going to get anything different. Now, if somebody blows you away, and that's the key to this, if somebody blows you away with an offer with at least one everyday player that's MLB ready, then you do it now. But if you're not really going to get more, if you're not getting the blow away offer, then you can do both. You can compete. You can have him. You can see where you're at.
If you're going to keep him, you better be doing everything you can to win with him. And they have said they don't believe in a Skubal window. We saw how they operated last year at the deadline.
Right.
The idea that this would be an all-in offseason doesn't really add up to me. But by all means, go make a couple impact splashes, and then maybe I'm more comfortable rolling the dice on Tarik Skubal. One of those big splashes would be an outfielder in Boston. And this was the other headline that we saw yesterday. This is from friend of the show, John Morosi.
By opening day.
4.7 WAR player last year, was better than any Tiger bat. If you're thinking that was a fluke, no. The year before, he was an 8 WAR player. He's a triples
So he's on the decline.
Sure, he's still in his late 20s, and he'd be a hell of an ad.
I know.
Triples machine, good fielder. Only Torres and Torque walked more than him last year, and he is under club control for 3 more seasons. So to get him, you would have to trade one of the precious, in all likelihood.
And who are the precious?
The guys he didn't want to trade at the deadline.
Right.
And I don't think it has to be McGonigal or Clark, but you got to give to get.
Right. So I want to go back to Skubal. And I'm kind of indifferent as long as the Tigers do something that sets themselves up for either success this year or success in the future. Now, we all want success now. We've waited long enough. And success now means if you're going to roll the dice and not sign him to an extension or a new contract, then you better go out there and add the bats that you need. And he had mentioned, like, hey, we didn't hit well enough down the stretch, that you can go out there and legitimately have a shot. Not if, hey, well, if this guy develops and if this guy plays better and we do this here and we get this pitcher, and like there can't be a whole lot of, well, if this. There needs to be, here are the established players that we have brought in free agency or traded for to go along with Tarik Skubal and a healthy Reese Olson and putting together, and obviously Jack Flaherty is a part of that because he picked up his option, that you are going into this season with a full head of steam. And if it doesn't work out, hey, you put your money where your mouth is and
you reload.
And you trade at the trade deadline. But it's probably, if you're going to do that, you're not going to be out of it. So you're going to buy. You're going to be buying, and you're going to be all in
and legitimately buying. So part of all in, you say, okay, regardless, they have to add bats, whether they trade Skubal or keep Skubal, but you'd feel better about keeping him if you add the bats. I'm looking at ESPN's top 50 free agents, and the guy at number 4 on that list is a right-handed bat, plays third base, who walks a lot, makes contact, and the Tigers pursued heavily last year. We have a drop in the system for him.
Walleye? I thought you were going to play Walleye.
No. They have a projection, John. For Bregman, it would be a 5-year, $160 deal, which, for those playing along at home, is the deal he wanted from the Tigers last year, subtracting 1 year. I think for as much flack as Harris took for the deadline, His bigger whiff was not meeting Bregman's demands last year. So we'll meet him right back at the same bar and play footsie, and I hope you're taking him home at the end of the night because it's the biggest thing this team could do in the offseason.
I don't like your analogy.
Everybody's used the dating analogy.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I do hope that he's a Detroit Tiger. He's a good player. We want good players here. We need a right-handed bat. We saw that and how costly it is when you have left-handed pitchers and you have a strong left-handed lineup and you don't have options on the other side of the plate. Or just a reliable option at the plate, period.
And what I don't want to hear is, well, we've got McGonigal up to start the year. That's our bat. If you want to call him up and he's part of the team next year, I'm cool with it.
Right, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So McGonigal plus.
Plus, and maybe plus.
Right.
Look, I think you got to make a real offer to Skubal. If you get balked, if Boris's camp has no interest, then I'm much more open to trading him. But you got to make a real offer to him. You can't go, well, he didn't want to be here. Did you offer him a real contract? Because we've yet to hear about that.
I'm really intrigued at the stuff that we'll never know.
Yeah.
In regards to what are owners and obviously presidents of baseball operation and general managers, what is their discussion and thinking about what happens in 27? Because that theory of how they think that's going to go or what baseball will look like in terms of the CBA coming out of that will somewhat shape their decision-making on Skubal.
What if I gave you this offseason plan for the Tigers? You offered Tarek Skubal 8 years, $400 million. They say no. Thank you for giving us a starting point for free agency next year. You take that $50 million and you hand 30 of it to Alex Bregman and another 20 to 25 to a starting pitcher. You trade Tarek Skubal, you get something for him, and you roll into next year playing that game.
I mean, I'd rather go into the season with Skubal. And I know that there's a lot of people, and I'm curious as to how many, who, even though he's probably going to win his second Cy Young, are done with him.
So what was that? Rieger phrased it like this the other day. He said it very flippantly that Detroit has turned its back on Skubal.
Last night a few times too he was saying it. The blanket statement that Detroit sports fans have turned their back on Tarek Skubal. I don't think that's the case.
Why don't we let people decide?
I think there's a group of people that have, I think there's a group of people who haven't, but are mad about Game 5 and coming out. And then I think there's a large group of people who see the entire career and love this guy as a pitcher. He's not JV, but he's in that category.
I want to stress this. Jeff Rieger's not always right. He's very rarely right.
Right.
But he thinks Detroit's turned its back on Skubal. 248-539-9797. Your reaction to any of the Tiger headlines, and we want to know if you agree with that statement. It's 97.1.
Hey, we had a hot summer, and that first blast of winter cold may arrive on Sunday. Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Electrical will do a complete furnace checkup to make sure it's running properly, but most important, safely. Right now, it's only $79. That's $30 off the regular price. So give them a call today because spots are going to fill up quickly. And don't forget, Mastercraft also does plumbing, electrical, and they install generators as well, all at discounted prices. So give them a call now. And you can find more information on the web at mastercraftheating.com. That's mastercraftheating.com.
Got some ticket text coming in, 248-539-9797. It's a football Friday. We'll get the picks at 6:35. And the emotions of playing the Commanders later in the hour. Revenge? Statement? We'll get to it. On the Tarek Skubal front and the offseason in general for the Tigers. Text says you got to trade Skubal. I want to replace him with Brandon Woodruff. You can probably get him for under $30 million a year. He's coming off an injury, but showed he can pitch at the end of last season. Him and Bregman can be as valuable as Skubal by himself, and you get whatever you get back in the Skubal trade. That sounds like the plan to me, Derek and Rochester Hills. If he's unwilling to sign a long-term commitment this offseason, and that's what we expect, this is a hell of a pivot.
It is, if you're going to take the money that you would have spent on him and use it on a quality pitcher, not the level of Skubal, right? You're not going to get that, but
80%.
And then an everyday bat like a Bregman.
Yeah.
And I say like a Bregman because there are going to be other options if Bregman says he's too pretty for us again and doesn't want to date us, to use your dating analogy.
I'm not the one that
he doesn't
started
want to
it.
marry us.
Put a ring on it. Here's the other part of this. If they run Skubal back next year, and I think they will, by the way, I don't expect them to trade him. I think they're going to want to run Skubal back. They're going to do something this offseason to justify it in their eyes. Mm-hmm. They'll keep Skubal next season. What if we get to the playoffs, he doesn't have a long-term commitment, and he gets the 99 pitches? Are we going to do the same dance again next year in the playoffs?
There are a lot of people, because of the pitch limit last year, really through his entire career here, who understood it at the time, but then when it comes to an elimination game and he and AJ lock eyes and they just know that this is it. He's going to give us all he's got. He goes out, his last pitch against Cal Raleigh, strikes him out on 3 pitches, is 101 miles an hour, and then you're telling me next inning he's going to drop off to 88, 91.
And the worst thing that could happen to Skubal is how the World Series ends with Yamamoto coming out on 0 rest.
Right. I mean, that's just, and I know that it irritates me. Doesn't mean that I want him gone, but it does irritate me, and it does raise a lot of questions about his competitiveness.
But why is that all on him?
It's not all on him. I'm not saying that. It is
on him.
Part of it is.
Who is it not on?
Why are you allowing this to happen? You're the manager of the team. You're the GM of the team. Like,
so you're saying AJ Hinch needs to hold his hand and walk him out to the mound?
Yeah, I'm not even talking about coming out of the game in the 6th before the 6th.
You go to him and you say, you're going out there.
I could never manage doing that as a coach. I would never consider. I would be able to see if he doesn't have it anymore.
Right, and so
if he tells you I'm gassed, I can't pitch anymore, I'm out.
Tarek, this is game 5. There doesn't get any more thing than this. We need you. And if he says I don't have anything left,
it doesn't matter. You're going out there.
I'm going to say it one more time, and if he doesn't want to go out, I'm going to talk about it after the game.
Sure. I mean,
I'll be honest and real. I'm not going to hide.
That's the one thing the Tigers could have done, is they could have thrown him under the bus, I suppose. This ticket texter says, Skubal coming out against the Mariners was the most anti-Detroit thing I've ever seen a player do in recent memory. That's why we've turned on him. Alex in a car.
Can I just say something back there quick? After the game, we talked about, is Scott Boras part of the Tigers managing pitch counts? That shame on the organization for doing that, if that's the case. It kind of appears that they did.
Another one says, one bat is not going to help the Tigers if they're terrible offensively. They need at least 2 signings as we get into free agency.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay. Bregman and Duran would be solid. Keep Skubal. I'd be jumping up and down.
I think that if that recipe happens, then you're looking at a legitimate push at the World Series.
And what would that take? Well, it's cash for Bregman, and we've been told they have the resources from ownership. It wouldn't require anything with Skubal. You could run him back next year, deal or no deal, and you'd have to trade for Duran. But just so people understand, you're going to have to give up from your top 5 prospects. You're going to have to give up a Brisenio. You're going to have to give up a Lorenzo. You're going to have to give up someone of significance. We'd have to see Scott Harris do that. But that's all. I mean, it's not like an unrealistic offseason.
I mean, if they give up Lorenzo, then all of a sudden the whole trade with the Dodgers and Flaherty looks like genius. You're able to flip that into a +4 WAR player, and the prospects of a year ago he was 8 WAR.
Chance for Scott Harris to rehabilitate his image and, more importantly, put this baseball team in the contender status.
Yep.
Free agent coverage presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Let's get to Heather with the news.
Well, in a heartbreaking story out of the NFL that actually broke yesterday, Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Kneeland has died from an apparent suicide. Just 24 years old. He was in the midst of just his second season in the NFL when he died. He also just scored his first NFL touchdown days before on Monday. Authorities say the incident began when troopers attempted to pull Kneeland over for a traffic violation, but he wouldn't stop. That was eventually called off, and after a brief chase, his car was found abandoned after it had crashed. A search then involving canine units, drones, found his body. And before all of this, he had allegedly sent a group text message to his family saying goodbye. His girlfriend also alerted police saying that he was armed, that he has a history of mental health issues, and that he had apparently stated, or she believed, that he would end it all. It's such a tragic story.
And it's hard to imagine what someone is going through that's 24 years old, was a second-round pick, is playing for the Dallas Cowboys. As you mentioned, just signed or just had a touchdown. Things were going well for him professionally.
And it goes to show you never know what someone's dealing with.
Yeah.
A massive fire that broke out on Thursday morning has completely destroyed the home of Eric Spoelstra, the Miami Heat coach. If you've seen photos or videos, man, this was a devastating fire. This was no small house fire. Officials say the blaze began around 4:30, prompting a massive emergency response. The house was just engulfed in flames and smoke. Thankfully, no injuries reported. Obviously, the fire has now been put out, but the cause of the fire is under investigation. I did read somewhere that the house was undergoing renovations at the time. Not that that had anything to do with it, but everyone is trying to figure
they'll look at
something
everything,
out.
yeah.
Yep. Hey, big news for us here. 97.1 The Ticket is set to expand across the state. So Odyssey will launch the 97.1 Detroit Sports Radio Network on December 1st. It will create a statewide platform designed to connect sports fans across Michigan. So the new network will use 97.1 The Ticket as its flagship station, and the affiliates include stations in Grand Rapids, Lansing, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, and Roscommon, with additional stations expected to join the lineup in the coming months. And
That's
you can
exciting.
listen to the entire daily lineup.
Yeah, it's us through midnight. Going to be carried across the state.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to be able to, especially for those that live here and travel, to just be able to find the station. Obviously, you can use the app, but a lot of people, especially in all of those areas that we're going to be in, just want to be able to turn the dial, and you're gonna wake up with us,
That's
baby.
Right. And I'm pumped for the Grand Rapids piece. I mean, people may know I spent 5 years doing afternoons out in that market. We had a lot of fun, so I'm excited for a reunion with some of those folks and to get all of us out across the state.
Well, I mean, okay, you live there. We're not sure how much across the state you've been, but the rest of the show, Heather, by traveling up to the UP, all of us making that trip to Bronner's. Like, I lived up north for almost a decade, so yeah, we all have friends and family and acquaintances and everybody that lives around the state.
It's exciting.
You'll be able to hear us up in Frankenmuth.
Yes.
There you go. A piece of Michigan transportation history can be yours if the price is right and if you want it. So the Mackinac Bridge Authority is selling several 2-ton sections of steel grating that have been part of the bridge since it was constructed in the 1950s. They've done this like every single year, and I wonder what people who buy it do with it. So
Cattle Pass, maybe?
I mean, They will cut the sections up on request, but they're they're just massive.
2 tons.
They're 2 tons. So the auction goes through November 17th, and as of Wednesday afternoon, the bids ranged from about $405 to $775. And every year, 20 panels of the original grating are being replaced. And initially, they were just kind of scrapped. But now people were interested in purchasing them, so they're up for auction, and they're massive. Each section is about 5.5 feet wide, 5 inches deep, weigh 2 tons.
I think
and you do have to sign like a waiver because they originally had lead paint on them.
Right. I think Stoney originally had like the 2 of the first versions so that he needed something to go over the moat.
Yes. He just created his own mini Mac.
Yeah. Just hey, instead of being on the Big Mac, he's got his mini Mac.
It's Heather with the news. Got the picks coming up next. And John, is this a typo? Is your record a type? This doesn't make sense. We'll see if you can do better this week. It's 97.1. Replacing a roof. It's not something. I love that I get a chance to do this to you. Replacing a roof isn't something most of us look forward to because it's a big investment. It's a lot of money, and choosing the right company matters. For over 30 years, Michigan homeowners have trusted Shaner Roofing. And here's why. Local experts, proven track record, every roof they install comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. That's that peace of mind when you're going to make an investment like that. It's protected for as long as you own the home and if you go to sell it. Shaner Roofing has earned a 4.9-star Google rating. Thousands of happy customers. That trust, it doesn't happen overnight. Take a look. A bunch of businesses can't get a 4.9 star. Built on decades of quality work and customer care. If your roof's leaking, if it's aging, if you're ready for peace of mind, simple. MyMichiganRoof.com. That's MyMichiganRoof.com, powered by Shaner Roofing, Michigan's trusted roofing experts. 5-2 last week for yours truly, sitting atop the pick standings. The picks are brought to you by Shaner Roofing. Tom, a game back. Heather, 3 games back. Greg, 4 games back. And way down at the bottom of the well, we got John Jansen, 9 games back.
Enjoy it. That's fine.
All starts now, John. Month of November.
Yeah, whatever.
Did John even play football? That'll be the next question we have.
Oh, God.
Right, yeah.
BYU traveled to Lubbock, Texas, taking on the Red Raiders.
I got the
Texas
dump
Tech.
button handy because all I want to say is F all of you.
I didn't
His
say
face,
anything.
he's angry.
Yeah.
No tortillas, but I think it's going to be a hostile environment.
I didn't even say the number yet. 10.5.
Okay. It's going to be a hostile environment for a freshman quarterback in Bear Bachmeier. This is the best run defense in college football, and they get after the quarterback, 11th in sacks. I will lay the points with the Red Raiders.
I'm just going to go and say, you know what? I think Kalani Sitake is a great coach. I really do, especially with what he's done with a freshman quarterback. I don't think they win this game, but I do think that they keep it close. So I'm going to go with Kalani Sitake and BYU.
I'm going with BYU as well. Really, I've been to Utah numerous times. Fun,
Yeah,
interesting
beautiful
trip.
state.
Very beautiful. And you mentioned Bear. His name's Bear. Don't mess with that.
Can't argue with that.
Oh.
No tortillas in Lubbock. They've all been eaten by a bear. BYU.
Well, Jim, you're going to be on an island here, and I was extremely torn on this, and I know that I think that the Sharks are on Texas Tech here. Texas Tech has a top 10 defense in the country. They get 102 more yards offensively, more per game than BYU.
They can run it up.
But BYU has scored in every game, at 21 at least in every game here, and I do think this number gets into the backdoor territory. And it is November.
Oh, that's a tough place to be.
It's November, and things start to tighten here. I'm going to buy into that, and I like Cougars.
Tom also searched Backdoor Kings this week.
Yeah.
Oregon travels to Iowa as 6.5-point favorites at Kinnick Stadium. John.
Yeah, Kinnick Stadium's a tough place to go. Michigan's gone there and laid an egg. Ohio State's gone there and laid an egg. There's a lot of teams with a lot of good players that have gone there and laid an egg. I'm going to take the environment. I think Oregon, again, I think Oregon wins this game, but I think it's going to be a lot closer. That Iowa defense and the way that they play, the way they're coached, I'll take Iowa.
I am going with Oregon, and it's really because I still really like Greg's sweatshirt. It's a cool sweatshirt. The colors are cool.
We'll keep putting him on the picks.
He's wearing them.
He's not wearing it
Michigan.
today. I know he's not, but when he does wear it, I like it.
I think I did it earlier this week.
It's a lot of green.
It is.
It's been 4 years since Iowa beat a ranked team at home. The Kinnick mystique is overrated. Ducks.
Yeah, Kinnick Schmimick. That's what I say to this. It's Oregon. Oregon has played on the road very well under Dan Lanning. Their defense is right there with Iowa's, but guess what? Oregon can score. I will take the Ducks.
I love that we can put John on an island here.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Look, on paper, on the surface, you say, yeah, you should take Iowa. Feels like, it's your vegetables. Take the points at a tough place to play with a good defense.
Corn's not a vegetable.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Is it a vegetable?
It's not a fruit, and it ain't
No.
anything else.
It's a starch.
What I want is that greasy pizza. Give me Oregon here. Here's the deal. Iowa's scoring 31 points per game. That looks cool. Reality is it's a lot of field position. It's turnovers. Oregon doesn't turn the ball over. They're a good outfit going on the road. Give me the Ducks.
How about this for a vegetable? That Nike cabbage. Fueling Oregon.
Don't underestimate, too. Oregon needs to impress here.
Yeah.
Iowa's fighting for their playoff lives.
They're Iowa.
They are Iowa.
Okay, to the NFL. Patriots travel to Tampa Bay taking on the Bucks. Bucks favored by 2.5 points, Heather.
I looked at the mascots here. Captain Fear or Pat the Patriot. They're both like burly, kind of scary, but one has a
Fear.
sword. Yeah, Captain Fear. One has a sword and crazy eyes. I'm going with the Bucks.
Nothing I've got in this game, but I will mention that
He's got crazy eyes.
I love the treadmill dad Amazon commercial. Hey, kiddo, I'll be right there. Give me the Bucks.
I'm losing to someone that takes the sword and the crazy eyes.
Yep.
So
Captain Fear.
stupid.
I'm going to go Tampa here. I like that they're off the bye. Also, this is going to be a very tight game. I think it's a field goal, Tampa. If it was 3.5, I'd take the Pats.
Pats have won 6 in a row. Doesn't this just feel like where the train stops? On the road against a well-rested Bucks team off a bye. Give me Baker.
So you've all taken the Bucks?
Yes.
Here's your chance.
This is my chance to come back, baby. Give me the Patriots and Drake May. Drake May is having an MVP caliber season, and he has been sacked, as many times as anybody else in the NFL, but he continues to produce. I think they go on the road and they get a win. I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Rams laying 4.5 points at the 49ers. I don't think people try to take the 49ers seriously with all those injuries. I will. I'll take the Niners in those points.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners here in the points, and I'm almost suspicious why this is this large. Like, I would think 3.5, 2.5. I don't know why, and that bothers me, but the Rams haven't played a close game since they lost to the 49ers on October 2nd. I think that's going to hurt the Rams here. I will take the points.
Shanahan 10-5 in the regular season against McVay. It's a good amount of points for a home dog here in a divisional clash. Give me the Niners.
Isn't it suspicious, though?
And maybe we're all walking into it.
So you've all taken the Niners?
Yeah, take your boy. Take Costa's boy, Stafford.
I'm going to take the little mouse that runs around on the sidelines. That's McVay. Give me the Rams and Matthew Stafford. I just think that this offense is really good. And I talked about it earlier in the week. This is a defense. It's a top-scoring defense in the NFL. I think the Rams get it done.
I'm going to take the Rams too.
Okay.
Going to follow my advice. It's probably the wrong thing to do.
I already picked them in my head, so I'm not changing.
The Ravens, 4.5 point favorites as they travel to Minnesota to take on 9. And the Vikings, Tom.
A lot of points on the road in the NFL here, but I think last week was an anomaly with the Vikings. I think the Ravens are getting their act together. I think the Ravens win by double digits.
Vikings got 17 points from drives starting in Lions territory. I don't think they get that many gifts this time around. Baltimore.
I'm going Baltimore as well. And their backs have been against the wall for a while. Lamar is back healthy. Derrick Henry is healthy. I just think that this is full steam ahead. And there's a lot of people that think with those guys being healthy, they're one of the better teams in the NFL. I still need to see more to prove it, and I think we see it on Sunday.
I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Your people.
My people.
Vikings played really well last week. They are primed for a letdown. I'm taking the Ravens. Ooh. Eagles travel to Green Bay. Packers are favored by 2.5 points over the defending Super Bowl champions. Jim.
Eagles off a bye. Eagles offense looks like they're playing well. And I don't have to pick Jordan Love. Great. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well. I think I said it in my power search. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now, and they are starting to get things right. This is a Super Bowl winning team, the defending Super Bowl champs, and they're playing as such right now. So give me the Eagles.
Can I change my pick if John picked it? Because I don't think it's going to work now.
No, too late. Just like Heather, you already picked it. You picked it in your head.
Yep, you picked it in your head. You just got to stick with it. I'm going with the Eagles too.
This is up, down again. Packers laid an egg last week at home to the Panthers. I'll take the Packers in a bounce back.
Well, you're going to be on Packer Island, Greg, because I'm Mr. Philadelphia. What else needs to be said? Mm-hmm. This is going to be like the Ravens game last year for the Eagles. This is where everybody jumps on board and says, uh-oh.
Greg showed his real colors. Just can't get off of Packer Island.
Lions travel to suburban Maryland, Virginia, D.C.
Yeah. It's a terrible stadium.
8.5 point favorites at Northwest Stadium, obviously named after Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's child, Northwest. Lions are favored by 8.5 points. John.
You're not up on your Kardashian lore?
I got you,
No.
Greg. It took me a second, too, but I did get you.
I spat that one out eventually.
Yes. I'm going with the Lions. I'm going to go with Greg's up-down theory. And I don't necessarily believe in the theory, but down last week, they don't lose back-to-back games. The Commanders are absolutely beat up. So give me the Lions.
I'm also choosing the Lions. I think they're going to come out and just destroy them.
Lions bounce back better than anybody in the league. I'll take the Lions.
They sure do. And the Commanders are banged up. Everything says to take the Lions here. And when that happens in the NFL, something's up. Backdoor in play here with such a large point spread.
Well, you're a big fan of the backdoor today, aren't you?
Yep. I like Cougars, too.
Thanks for letting us know.
Wow.
I'm going to take the points here.
1 + 1 equals. Peg's still in the game, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, one of the top two.
She's older than a cougar.
Oh, Peg.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think
She's right in cougar territory.
what age is a cougar?
248. Here, I'll round us out. Panay Sewell asked if there's anything extra on this one. Long pause. Maybe. Yeah, there's something extra with this one. It's personal. The offensive line has been called out and challenged. It's the team that eliminated them last year. Decker expected to play, Sewell expected to play, and the Lions come out to play and roll the Commanders. There you go. Picks brought to you by Shaner Roofing. It's 97.1.
Hey, FanDuel Fridays, turn it up with NBA Happy Hour. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonus surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. This isn't just another promo. It's your weekly pregame. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern, only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/971 Detroit to grab your reward before the clock expires. It's FanDuel.com/971 Detroit. You must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. Opt-in is required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, guys, we've arrived at Friday. Lions finally get to get back out on the field and put last week behind them. Maybe last year behind them. Is this a revenge game? John, I think you put it as a statement game in your notes.
Yeah, because I don't believe that this can even qualify for a revenge game. Now, for some fans, maybe it is. In regards to, obviously, the way the season ended last year, but the stakes aren't the same.
I know.
You can't eliminate Washington from anything. I mean, okay, you can make it harder on them, but it's not a playoff game. And quarterback's not playing, left tackle's probably not playing, receiver's not playing. They got injuries on defense. Like it's just, to me, there's nothing about this that says revenge. To me, it's more of a statement game. And I don't even know how much of a statement you can make against Washington with all those injuries I just mentioned, but it's going on the road. And to me, the statement needs to be the run game is right back where it needs to be. The play action game, the protection, all of that stuff is solidified. And then everybody's still going to look at it and say, well, it was a beat up Washington team. But you got to go there and take care of business. Like, we don't see, that's probably the first time that we've seen a Dan Campbell team lose to a team that they just simply shouldn't have lost to since year one.
Yeah, I think there was it the Bears in 23 was one they probably shouldn't have lost. There's the Panthers the 1 year on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but even okay,
but it's been a couple years.
It's been a couple of years.
They turned a corner, and this is very uncharacteristic what we saw in Minnesota or against Minnesota.
Right. And so I do think that there could be some statements made in this, but the real statement game is going to be against the Eagles.
But you got to get there.
Right.
You got to set that up. And I do think, John, it's not just go into Washington and win. It's going to Washington and build some confidence.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be confidence from the fan base. Confidence in themselves. Go into Philadelphia with a little momentum from your offensive line. I think that's the position group we've spotlighted all week, but just in general. Like, John, let's see some rhythm offensively. Let's see Jared Goff getting the ball out to playmakers. Let's see him playing with a little bit of swagger. Let's see that offensive line take this a little personal this week.
And what did we say? Like coming out of the Eagles game, where it's the first 10 games of the season. Before the season started, now we thought that it would be a rougher start to the season with a road trip to Baltimore. We knew the trip to the Packers would be tough, but I think most people thought that was going to be a win. The trip to Cincinnati, to the Chiefs, playing the Bucs. Like, I think we said, hey, if you can just get to Philly or come out of that Philly game at 6-4, that you would be in good position.
Yeah.
They are still in position to be much better than that.
If you would have told me Aleem McNeil was going to be back as early as he was, you would spotlight this Eagles game as one you could win.
Mm-hmm.
I have some doubts given what they look like up front on the offensive line. They can silence some of them this week, ultimately can put them to bed in Philadelphia.
And they may ultimately come out of that Eagles game at 6-4.
Maybe.
And then looking at the rest of the schedule with, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Steelers are a little better, a little more worrisome, and it's Aaron Rodgers coming to, Ford Field. But I think, this needs to be that statement game of, okay, we're still that team that doesn't lose back-to-back games. We're still that team that can run the ball, that we're still that team that can protect our quarterback. And I'm going to be laser focused, as I'm sure a lot of people will be, on Kyoto Owosika.
You brought him up one of the days this week.
As we're looking at the trade deadline.
And highlighted what a big opportunity this is for him personally.
He's going into he is in his fourth season. Next year, he'll be a free agent. And this opportunity has just fallen in his lap. Now, what has he done while he has been backing up Christian Mahogany? Has he kept all the skills sharp? And his track record says that he has, because he came in the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago and played great. Played last year. They won every single game that he started last year. This is a guy that has a lot of money on the line because he's been a backup. Can he go out there and prove? And I think most of us believe he'll probably be starting the rest of the regular season. And can he solidify himself as a starting guard in the NFL going into free agency? No one's going to think that Owusu is going to break the bank, but he can make himself a hell of a lot of money by playing really well.
We learned about this guy way back on Hard Knocks. Undrafted, practice squad guy. He started in the NFC title game.
Could be a great story.
I'm not proclaiming him to be a Pro Bowler or anything like that.
No.
But he has the chance, if not for the sake of the Lions' offensive line, for the sake of his bank account. This is a huge 6, 8, 10-week stretch for Owusu. 248-539-9797. Guys, what are the emotions for this game? Is revenge on the mind? Is confidence something you're looking to build here? How would you describe it? Because, John, I agree with you. I don't think you can get revenge in this spot. You can't undo what happened in last year's playoff game. You can't. I won't get the satisfaction of undoing last year's playoff game if they win this by 100 points. It wouldn't solve what happened last year. It doesn't win a playoff game this year. It doesn't prove anything against a beat-up Commanders team.
But is there a measure, and if people think this is a revenge game, I'm not going to argue it with them, because something that was out of the control of the Detroit organization was 2 years ago in Dallas. And it was the fact that, hey, we felt a win was stolen from us because of officiating. And now all of a sudden the week or the year after that, you put it on Dallas, in Dallas, on Jerry Jones' birthday, and we all celebrated it. We all thought it was wonderful.
So, John, I thought this was the Dallas game for sure this year on the schedule when the schedule came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That this was the game that the players were definitely putting that extra circle on. And I still think that exists, but I guess as a fan, I'm just a little bit kind of withdrawn because there's no Jaden Daniels.
Right.
It doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not as good as maybe we thought they were. It's like the Cowboy game last year was early, or about mid-October. So you had enough hadn't played out in the season yet to know what teams were.
Is this the Cowboy game, or is this the Niner game?
Probably the Niner game, even though it was the Cowboy game before, but now it's the Niner game.
Because the Niner game last year was the game against the team that eliminated them. It's also the game they didn't need to win, but they still said, F it, and they scored 40 points.
Yeah.
I am encouraged to see that both tackles were back at practice yesterday. There's a chance the Lions come up and roll up a crooked number this week.
It certainly is possible, and I'm just trying to find the injury update. Maybe it does look like Larry Tunsil, their left tackle, is going to play, but Terry McLaurin, it looks like he's not going to play. Luke McCaffrey was put on IR. Their wide receiver group, and obviously we know Jaden Daniels is out.
Get more of your phone calls, 248-539-9797. Do you want revenge? What are your emotions? 97.1.
Brought to you by Precision Garage Door Service of Southeast Michigan. The Pistons take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight for their first NBA Cup game this season. The Nets are 1-7, but coming off their first win of the season with a 112-103 road victory at Indiana on Wednesday. Tip-off tonight is at 7 o'clock over on WWJ. And for the Red Wings, they will also face a New York team tonight. The Rangers are in town as the Wings hope to keep up the good play from a winning road trip. Star winger Patrick Kane did miss that entire road stint, but returned to full practice with the team yesterday. Todd McClellan spoke with the media after practice to give an update on Kane's upper body injury.
Sunday's the only time the Blackhawks are in town, right?
The Tigers also extended a qualifying offer to second baseman Gleyber Torres at the start of MLB free agency yesterday. This means Torres has been offered a one-year contract at the average salary of the highest paid 125 players in baseball. This year, qualifying offers equate to about $20 million. Torres must accept the offer by November 18th or decline and enter free agency. If he declines, the Tigers will be compensated with draft picks. At the Corewell Health Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Shabath. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Cookie Jar coming up at 7:35 on a Friday. Good morning, 97.1. Jim Costa, John Jansen, Heather Park, Gov and Greg behind the glass. Brendan Shabath on the updates. We're here on a football Friday. Lions will play the Commanders. Is revenge on the mind? What's the emotion heading into this weekend's game against the Commanders? It's been a down week, right? They lost to the Vikings, and you feel like you lost the deadline. Where are people at on Friday? John, where are you at?
This probably is more like the San Francisco game, because San Francisco the year before, you knocked you out of the playoffs, and then you play them at the end of the season. And but I'm more of, I want to see quality football from the Detroit Lions. I want to see them stop the run. Maybe coming out of last week, because we had a couple of weeks where the offensive line didn't look great and they weren't able to protect Goff. I want to see that improved, and there's no question it has to be improved if they got any hope of being contenders in the division or in the postseason. But I was shocked that the Vikings, with that group of running backs and the offensive line that was as banged up as they were able to run the ball for nearly 150 yards. That, to me, was shocking.
It really helped out a young quarterback. Mm-hmm. Good field position, but also a run game. It's not like J.J. McCarthy threw for 300 yards.
No. I mean, he made some good throws and made the throws
downs.
He had to make. Yeah,
some third and longs where he handled a blitz and got the ball out and put an accurate ball.
But he's also throwing to Jefferson and Addison and Naylor and
Hawkinson.
He's got good receivers. Like, I don't see this group of receivers, even if they were all healthy, they're not on that level.
No.
And Mariota, maybe it's a 1-to-1 with JJ for where both of them are in their respective careers.
Some ticket techs. Truthfully, I hope we walk into their house, smack them around, eat all their food in the fridge, leave all the lights on, and walk out with Brian Branch double middle fingers to the sky. Josh from CMT.
There's some good food out there.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Crab cakes.
You a big seafood guy?
I do enjoy seafood.
Like fresh catch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some really good food out there. Everybody that's going to this game have contacted me and said, hey, where should I go eat? I've given them a couple of tips here and there. But so I'd be okay with going and eating everything in their fridge.
Lions have too many question marks to worry about revenge. This is more of a statement game for sure, from an unnamed texter.
Yeah, I do think it's a statement. It's a statement that, hey, we're not going away. We are, and there's not a lot to be gained of beating a team that has their backup quarterback and some injuries. I don't think I can overstate that, but it's more about the Detroit Lions. It's more about going out there and playing disciplined football. 10 penalties, 2 guys, veterans going in. It still drives me nuts, the amount of penalties that they had last week coming out of a bye week.
For all the worry in the fan base, the Lions are still second in scoring, averaging 30 a game. I don't want revenge. I want to win and no injuries. Is it as simple as just win the game, or does it have to be more than just win the game?
It's got to be more than just win the game for me. I mean, that's when it comes down to it, just win the damn game. But they need to win it, and it needs to feel good. It needs to look good. Things need to work.
You don't want like a gross 24-23, like the Patriots beat the Falcons last week by a point. You don't want anything like, they missed on an extra point, and that's why we won. Oh. No, you want this to. It doesn't have to be the disco deal, but you need to go out there and run the ball. Goff needs to have a little bit of swagger. They need to move the ball when they get to third down. They need to protect Goff. I don't want to see another 4 or 5 sack game, which have been the case the last 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, it's 10 over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I do want to address the first part of that text. The Lions are second in scoring at 30 a game. It's a factual statement, but I think you got to be a little honest with yourself here. Yeah. If your quarterback's getting sacked more than at any point in his career, if you're 25th in the NFL on third downs, if you're running the ball significantly worse than you were a year ago, how sustainable is 30 a game? And how much of that's propped up by what they did against the Bears, putting up 50?
And the Ravens with 38.
Right. I mean, it's 3 straight weeks where the offense hasn't exactly hummed. They haven't scored 30.
Right.
So, sure, it's a factual statement. I can't fight your facts.
And it's 37 against a really bad Bengals defense.
Yeah.
And we didn't even come out of that game feeling really good about the offense, even though they scored 37.
You guys have been crying all week. I can't wait to play the audio from this show at the Super Bowl parade. I mean, by all means. I don't think John shed a single tear. I know I can be kind of whiny, but by all means, play it at the Super Bowl parade. I'd love to be at the Super Bowl parade. I'll be the butt of the joke. Brad Holmes can bring me up into a dunk take. I don't care.
I don't know that I've been crying. I just have my concerns because the offensive line has not been the one that we have grown accustomed to.
Yeah, and I don't know how a person like that can deny troubling numbers of 21 yards less per game rushing than last season. They're not that team from last year. Can they get there? Maybe. They're a contender, but they've got some flaws. This other thing is this third down efficiency. Last year, I think they were top 5.
They were elite.
Yeah, this year they're 25th. That is extremely troubling.
But it all goes hand in hand. If you take sacks, you have longer third downs. If you can't run the ball, you have longer third downs. Well, what are harder to convert? Long third downs.
Right, and that's why I asked Dan about it, and I prefaced it by, I know that part of the third down issue is you've got to be better on first and second. But a big part of the last 2 years of being able to convert on third down has been the utilization of that third wide receiver. Right now, that should be Isaac Tesla, but they haven't used him as such. We haven't seen that benefit of having that third receiver where they cover, hey, it's third down. What are we going to do? We're going to make sure that Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't beat us. We're going to make sure that J-Mo doesn't get us deep. Laporta, we're going to put a body on him. That should leave the third wide receiver as a major target on some of those third downs.
And what did Dan tell you?
They want to get him more involved in the offense. He needs to be on the field more, not just as a special teamer.
We're post-bye week. I mean, this is when rookies tend to come on a little more.
And there is a difference there, what you said about third and even fourth receiver. I looked at the numbers from last year, and they're nowhere near the targets and receptions for Patrick and Raymond last year versus Tesla and Raymond this year. I mean, and it all goes back to the offensive line because they have to keep tight ends in the block.
They're playing more 12 personnel, which is double tight end.
It's kind of a vicious circle. Until you see this offensive line play more consistent, it's not going to change.
Well, and that's why it's not just win the game this week. You're 8.5-point favorites.
Right.
The goal is not to just go and win the game by a dinky little field goal. The goal is to go in there and look like a behemoth offensively.
And I need to win in my picks. I really do. Saquon Barkley and being able to be good in the secondary against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Like their defense right now, and I know they made some additions at the trade deadline and even before the trade deadline, but their defense is ranked right in the middle of the NFL, 15, 16, 17.
But let's be real here. The strong front sevens that they've played have beaten our offense. I mean, that's Green Bay. That's the Vikings have a good front seven.
Yeah, but this front seven for the Eagles hasn't played like the front seven for the Eagles last year.
But we've yet to see the Lions offense play well against a good defense.
Right. And so, having said what I just said, that the Eagles front seven hasn't played the same, where's the strength of that defense? Is there 2 defensive tackles?
Interior.
In Jordan and Carter. Like, where is the weakness of our offensive line?
Right over
interior
the center
of the offensive line.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. Like, that's going to be one of those matchups a week from now. Now you got to get there. Like, lose this game and mess around and don't look sharp in this game.
Yeah.
You're only going to feed more of the fear that people have. Like, the season's not going to end the way we want it to.
Yeah, mess around in Washington and find out what happens.
You have to pass algebra before you can take calculus.
Correct. Yes.
248-539-9797. This one says, just get a win, control the game. That's what I need to see.
I agree. Control the game. And it should be controlled from the start to the end. Like, it should just be, we're going in there, we're going to play our brand of football, we're going to bully you, and you're never really going to have a chance to be a part of this game.
Too much inconsistency with this team. The highs are high, the lows are low. The O-line, Goff, the defense, coaching, special teams. I want to see a couple complete games so I can believe they can make it through the playoffs. I think that's a great point. That's Matt and Heartland.
And that's in all 3 phases.
Think about when he made the comment about the fronts they've faced. The best fronts they've faced so far are, we'd say Green Bay with those 2 edge rushers.
Yeah, the Browns.
Yeah, and again,
as a defensive front.
Different results in those 2 games.
Yeah.
Tampa?
Yeah, sure. Tampa. Now, in that game, they got sputtered out at midfield a lot. It was not a great offensive day. Kansas City with Jones over the middle gave them problems. They only scored 7 points in the second half.
I think maybe
and then last week,
defensively,
Minnesota, underrated front. Like, they can bring a lot of stuff. They have not shown a consistency, and that's the biggest thing. If the goal is not beat the Commanders and get to 11 or 12 wins, maybe win the division, the goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Right, and I think maybe what I really want to see is the energy that we saw the defense play with against Tampa, I want to see that same energy through all three phases in the same game.
Some good texts, some room on the phones. Cookie jar at 7:35. We'll get to MLB free agency, 8 o'clock. It's 97.1. Lions fans, if you've tried to go to games, you know how expensive these tickets are, which is why 1800 Tequila wants to hook you up. It's the world's most awarded tequila, and it's a proud partner of the Detroit Lions. They're giving away tickets to a future game. Here's the deal. 971theticket.com for details. Click on the ticket event page. Come out, enjoy tequila, chance to win tickets to a future Lions game. How expensive the tickets are, you can't miss your chance. And don't forget to make 1800 Tequila part of your game day lineup all season long. Victory never tasted so good. 1800 Tequila, proud partner of the Detroit Lions. Please drink responsibly. Some ticket text. Revenge game, statement game. Is it just as simple as win the game, or do you need to see more? Text says, I could care less about revenge. This is just another game against another bad team. All I want to do is be winning and be healthy. No more big injuries. Another one says, there is no revenge. There is no satisfaction. Just win. That's all I care about is winning. I could care less what the stats are or the problems from a previous year. That's from Nick in Port Huron.
No, it's about the problems for this year and making sure that this is a step in the right direction, that you start to see some things being fixed.
Guys, 3 of our offensive tackles are hurt. Our center is not good. The question is not how Awasika plays, but what is our offensive line unit supposed to do to succeed on Sunday? We haven't created run lanes up the middle for 2 games.
We'll play with good technique. And this is where I when we had the question in the Thursday touchdown about, is this more on the offensive line or is it on John Morton? Yeah, and you said, what was it?
80-20?
80-20, yeah. I think it's more 60-40, where you've got to know what blocks are the interior 3 really good at? How do they work together? And what angles do they need to make those blocks better? Because with personnel groups, formation, motions, you can create angles that are advantageous to your blockers up front.
Nerd out for a second here, because the Lions' offensive line run a variety of concepts. Inside zone, outside zone, counters, traps.
Right. And so if
it's finding, you may have to just focus on a couple schemes that you think, 1, makes sense for this week, but 2, play to your personnel, right?
Right, yeah, sure, gap schemes. And that's where I want to see, what does Awasika do well? Okay, he needs to be good in pass protection. That's a standard. But is he a really good puller? If he is, now all of a sudden, if you're running that counter to the right side and he's your puller and you bring in Laporta as the extra guy, ramming up through the interior of that offensive line, it allows Ratledge to just come off the ball. There's no read. All right, it's step, and whoever presents themselves block it. If there's no one there, you go to the next guy. You want to make it, let these guys be as aggressive as they can possibly be without being tentative coming off the ball. And it could be as simple as Graham Glasgow right now. He has a hard time reaching a wide, one technique to a 2-eye. If that guy is on top of Ratledge right now all of a sudden it's really hard for him to combo with Ratledge to get that defensive tackle reached. But if you're going to run a counter to the left and he's blocking back on that guy, now he's got the advantage.
Yep.
If you're running a scheme where, his body presence is there. If you're running a read to the left and now Ratledge has to get his head across, it's not that difficult, shouldn't be that difficult to get your head across the 2-eye technique with center presence. So these are all things that you get to the line of scrimmage, and maybe you put more on Jared Goff. To get to the line of scrimmage, this is where you've got to get into the huddle, break the huddle with 13, 14 seconds left. So you get to the line of scrimmage, and Jared Goff can make some checks.
Well, and that part of it is on play design. As much as we talk about getting a good push, that's why you brought your percentage on Morton up a little more than me. Another text says, what excuses are we going to use when the team starts 5-5 after a couple more weeks and finish 8-9 and miss the playoffs? Free passes for Holmes, Campbell, and the rest? Josh in a truck.
No. And I mean, if they lose this game and they end up 5-5 after 10 games, then you start having the question, not just the division, you might that one might be sailed.
Yeah.
But now you're in an absolute fight for your playoff life.
Yep. Especially with the way this division stands right now. Everybody's at or above 500.
This is, maybe the best way to put it is, this is a must-win game. You have to win this game. And because if you lose this one, then you go to Philly and everybody's going to, no one's going to think that you can get that one done. And if you are 5-5, looking at the rest of the schedule, it doesn't eliminate you. It's way too early, but the panic meter would be through the roof.
It would. I think it's more than just win the game, though. I really do. I know you say must win. You got to more than win the game. Because you got to build some confidence. You can't eke it out as a big favorite against a beat-up team that has no business being in the playoff talk. Mm-hmm. You got to go in there and look the part.
Yeah, it's got to be a confidence win. You got to stop the run. You got to be good against the pass. And you must, maybe it's just as simple as you got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, John, to rephrase it, I think this is a Friday Night Lights game. Clear eyes, full heart. can't lose.
Yeah.
Not must win, can't lose.
Speaking
Slight difference.
of Friday night games, Jack's playing against your alma mater.